Hello everyone, this is Time Bunny and I'm finally getting around to recording my little Q&A video which I was threatening to do a little while ago. I think I put it up on Facebook and Twitter that I was thinking of doing one, so I now have my phone here. It's a bit of a novelty actually to be able to do this, like to be able to use my phone to look up things and then record separately, which is a bit strange but awesome. So all good. But yes, so here are the few questions that I was asked by some of my followers, friends and subscribers. So we will get cracking, shall we? Let's just not mess around. Right, so for the first question is from Just Plain Johnny, and the question he asked was, what would you say is the most difficult video game you have ever played? Oh, definitely the first ever Abe's Oddworld game. Was it Abe's Odyssey or Abe's Exodus that was the first one? I can't quite remember offhand. I know it was one of the two. But whichever one it was, whichever was the first one out of those two, it just completely kicked my ass like you wouldn't believe, to the point I actually wanted to cry. It just beat my ass that bad. It's like, I loved it, but it just beats the ever-living crap out of me. It was just like, I think I kind of gave up after a while. I thought, no, rage quit, fuck, no, I'm going, sort of thing. That was basically my attitude towards it in the end. I was like, and I don't think I've ever actually gone back and tried to beat it. I just thought, sod this bollocks, I'm just not bothering anymore. So, so same as that one, the very first like Oddworld game with Abe in it. So I can never, as I said, I can never remember which one out of Odyssey and Exodus was the first one. I always get them asked about face, but yeah, whichever the first one was, so that one. And the next question is from Scorpius. What is the most nostalgic video game for you from back when games were good? So back in the olden days, as it were, when we were still living in caves and like keeping dinosaurs as pets and stuff. Oh, see, that's kind of tricky for me because I've probably got a couple that I could quite easily pick out of all the various like video games from way back in the day. I think one I would choose would definitely be, I think it was the very first Sonic the Hedgehog game on the Sega Mega Drive. Because I think at the time when I first got my Mega Drive, I think they'd only been out for about a year or so. I don't think they'd really been out all that long, to be fair. Only probably a couple of years tops, because I think it was round about... Again, I think it was round about the early 90s I got my Mega Drive, so I think, as I said, it wasn't that really that long after they'd come out, probably only a couple of years in it. And obviously Sonic was like one of the pack-in titles by this point. So yeah, it was like my first ever proper console game, so, and it was just like, it was all sort of like flashy and lights and colours and sounds all over the place, and it was like, oh, it blew my little 12-year-old mind, you know. So it was just like, oh my god, what is this witchcraft? It is awesome, you know. So yeah, I think that's sort of like nostalgic for me, because, you know, first ever console game and first ever console ever that I'd ever encountered, and it was like, oh, this is cool. You know, so that kind of moment. So, and I'd probably say another two that are kind of nostalgic when I say two. No, it's probably more than that. There's a couple of different titles that I can mention, which is Streets of Rage, Alien Storm, and possibly some of the earlier wrestling games that came out. Because I think a lot of these games I used to sort of play with my sister, who is like 5 years younger than me, so I think it's more of like, a lot of these like titles that I've mentioned were nostalgic because it was like, it's like almost like it was like our sort of like playtime. We used to have a lot of like fun playing these games together, or like one of us would play and the other one would watch and say like, oh, you've missed that, or you know, some stuff like that. So you know, that's sort of like, they're nostalgic for me as well. So oh, to be honest, there's so many I could bring into this Scorpius to say that, like, this is nostalgic because of this, and this is nostalgic because of that, and I could be here listing like loads of games for just forever, so but that's just a few examples of some games that I find nostalgic for different reasons. So, but thanks for that, Scorpio. That was actually a really good question. It really made me think about that one. I may have to come back and maybe do a separate video on that just on its own about different video games that I find nostalgic or have happy memories about for whatever reason. So I think you've just given me another video idea there, Scorpius, so you'll be getting a credit for that. Right, next question is from Control Alt Dan, and he asks, what is my favourite video game franchise? See, I'm caught between, I'd probably say, there's a couple I'm caught between. That's Silent Hill. Well, the first 3 games anyway, the rest don't exist as far as I'm concerned because they're shit. And Saints Row. I mean, everyone probably knew I was going to say Saints Row to that one, to be fair, because I am just in love with Saints Row. It is awesome, even though the only game I've ever beaten is Saints Row 4, but that's just not the point. I just love those games because they are just so silly. It's like, as I always like jokingly describe them to people, it's like Saints Row is like all the silly bits of like the GTA franchise, and then just ramped up by 100 and then force-fed cocaine or something, you know, it's just like, it's completely off its nut, you know, but it's hysterical. And even Lady Boobs herself has said from the bit of Saints Row 4 she played, she really enjoyed it, and she totally understands why I'm so in love with them, because it's just like, they're just such silly games, you know, I think they just stopped trying to take themselves seriously and just thought, sod it, should we just fuck about, you know? I think that's what the developers decided to do in the end. It's like, nah, we're just going to dick around, sod it, you know? So, and I am just totally in love with Shande, and just, yeah, I love her. So, it's just, yeah, so Saints Row and Silent Hill. So that's like, but it's basically neck and neck with those two. But I do also really like the 2 Siberia games as well. They're really cool. So. Right, next question is from Badger at the Badger Show, and he asks, who or what inspires you to help charities and the homeless? Probably because I know that I don't know what am I talking about. I think it's because I like to help other people out, because, you know, I've been through some rough shit, you know, I mean, not as bad as other people, you know, who have perhaps, you know, been homeless and like, or, you know, ended up destitute and all this kind of stuff, you know, or ended up needing to rely on food banks. And I've not ended up like sort of that kind of level of bad, but, you know, I've had rough times, and I think there are probably moments looking back where it would have been nice if I'd had like more of a support system. I mean, not to say that I didn't have one, and I don't want any of my friends who have been around me to think that's what I mean, you know, but it's more, I think I just have this attitude as like, any of us could end up in a situation where we could end up needing to rely on certain charities, or certain, you know, people or whatever, and I think, you know, if we don't support them whilst they still exist, you know, it's like, what are we going to do, you know, sort of like, if we don't support them now, who's to say in sort of like however many months or years time you might not need that person's like support, or that charity support, and they're not going to be there, you know. So I think I'm very much like, you know, people need these charities and support networks to help them get through shit, and that's why I'm very much like, I suppose that's what inspires me to sort of like want to help these various charities and like homeless shelters and food banks and that, 'cause it's like, guys, you never know when you might need these particular people or charities' help. So, you know, it's like, look after them while you've still got them there, because it's like, how do you know in 6 months' time you might not need to rely on a food bank because you've lost your job or something, you know? So, I guess that's what kind of inspires me, you know. I've been through shit, and it's like, let's look after these things while they're here. Because I think if the government had their way, they'd just get rid of everything, wouldn't they? So, but yes, I suppose that's what inspires me. Right, and next question is from the Lady Boobs, at Lady Boobs Views, and she asks if you could tag team with anyone in WWE, who would it be? I can't believe she's asked me this question because she knows full well it'd be Crush, and that's all I'm saying. And last question is from Oh Look It's Mikey, and he asks, what has been your favourite cosplay and what would you like to do in the future if given the time and the money? That's actually a tough one. See, there's too many cosplays that I've done so far that I've actually really enjoyed doing for different reasons. But you're so mean, Mikey, for asking me this question and making me choose. I think one of my favourites is definitely probably the Jedi Exile Mitra. And the reason behind this is because when I met Colin Baker at MCN Comic Con a couple of years back, I actually had a complete nerd moment because he, like, obviously looked up from his table as I was coming up to get his autographs, basically recognised obviously who or what I was meant to be, and he was like, "Ah, greetings, noble warrior," and I was just like, yes, you know. I'm surprised I didn't explode, you know, because I was just like, oh my god, this is so cool, you know, the Doctor called me noble warrior, screw you guys, I'm just awesome, sort of thing. So I think that's probably my favourite cosplay for that reason. Just because of that complete nerd moment. And I think my favourite, the cosplay I would do if I had, like, basically the time and potless money and etc., it would definitely be Ezio from Assassin's Creed. Just because I am in love with that costume, and it's just, I think it's just because where I know my sort of like cosplaying abilities aren't that great yet. It's just one of them cosplays that I'd love to do if I had the money, the skills and the time to sit down and properly make it myself, but it's like I would suck balls at it, so it's like, no, I'd rather be able to just pay the money to get it properly done. So yeah, I think that would be the one I would choose if I had the money. So yeah. And that's just it. So I will end it here, and I hope you enjoyed that, and I will catch you all again